Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, we got Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Games and things.
What's on the agenda today? I have no clue.
Yeah, it's kind of been one of those games.
One of those games.
In one of those days. Sorry.
All right, well, let's get into it. I'll start first with my things. I really don't have that much to talk about. So finished up Tears of the Kingdom. Finally done with it again. It's still great. I really enjoyed this game. Honestly, I had, I think, a much better time overall this time than I did last time I played it. And like I said last time, it's not really. I can't really credit a lot of that to the performance updates and graphical updates and things like that. Like I really just kind of enjoyed the new features that they added with Zelda notes and things like that. I just think that it was just a genuinely good experience to kind of go back into, and I enjoyed the game. A lot of games, I feel like you can enjoy them better when you come back to them later, and I think that's kind of one of how I feel about this game.
That's how I'm feeling about Death Stranding right now.
Yeah, you were just talking about that last week. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause I think this game just really hit some good high notes. I finished it up and I'm like, I want to play more, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, like I don't want to get sucked into being stuck there, but I'm also kind of in limbo to some degree until Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. So
I see.
I don't know. I've already kind of moved on from it, but we'll see. I might end up just kind of just wasting some more time in it because I just had so much fun kind of exploring and just finding random shit. That's the one thing I really enjoyed about this game. Like, there's a lot here to go and see, but there's also just a lot to kind of surprise you too. It's like, oh, you turn a corner and it's like, oh, random boss battle. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Was not expecting that, but like, oh, maybe I'll take them out. Let's see how it goes. So that kind of stuff I think was really kind of enjoyable. So so that's kind of one thing that I had played a bit of this week. Other thing I kind of dabbled in a little bit too is Mario Strikers came out on the NSO this week, so I decided to give that a try. I've never played Mario Strikers on the GameCube.
Okay.
I played it on the Wii.
So the GameCube version is better.
Honestly, to me, they really didn't feel that much different. But it's been a long time since I played the Wii one, so I really can't say that. But but in terms of my nostalgia memory for it, they're very similar. Really didn't seem like it was that much different. What did you find that was that much different between the two?
So, all right. So here's the thing. I haven't played it on NSO yet. But what I'm saying is from playing both of them in the same day, because I used to run conventions and shit. And back when I used to do that, the Wii, the 360, the PlayStation 3 were like the hotness, basically. So there'd be some people that would be playing the new Strikers, and there'd be some people that brought their GameCube version and had the old Strikers. And I felt that the game flowed better on GameCube than it did on Wii. There was more of everything felt more smooth. I don't know how else to explain that. It just felt like a better. I don't know. It just the game felt better. That's really all I could say about it. It felt better than the Wii version.
That's fair. I can't really speak to it because, like I said, it's been so long since I played the Wii version. So, but at least in my recollection, like I said, they seem to play pretty similarly. So, the only thing I really remember was the Wii version had some sort of special move that you could do that was not. I don't think it was in the GameCube version, but yeah, I mean, the GameCube version is pretty fun. It's a bit more complicated than I expected it to be, but I really don't play sports games, so that's probably the other part of it too. And especially soccer, I feel like it's blasphemous in the U.S., but it's a lot of fun. It's your typical Mario kind of craziness, party game. So there's that, but it's fun. It's a lot of energy. It seems to run really well on the Switch too. I'm sure the input lag is there, which I still don't really fully appreciate even though I know it's there. But at least for my use and what I was playing for, it wasn't anything that really affected me as far as I could tell. I was not playing a fast enough or intense enough game to really need those extra milliseconds.
Okay.
Because I just played like a normal kind of I don't know what you call them, like rally match or something. I don't even remember. Grudge match? I don't even know. I don't remember what they call it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I do like enjoy it, but I don't think it'll be anything I'll like dump a ton of time into. It's just kind of nice to have it there. Um, that's it. I played it with the GameCube controller. I still love the GameCube controller. I think it just plays so nicely with that. Actually, my biggest gripe, and this is something that it pointed out. I don't know which video you were watching. I don't remember which. Oh no, I do remember which video you were watching. I was watching a different video that was talking about the NSO issues on the Switch too. And the one thing the video pointed out to me, which actually I've noticed more than the input lag, is
Yeah.
the oversensitivity of the GameCube controller, which I did
Mm,
not notice before. And once they pointed out, I'm like, oh yeah, these are very sensitive control sticks. The control sticks are like incredibly
I see.
responsive, like too responsive.
Okay.
So I find myself, I realized I was playing F-Zero because I'm like, I'm hitting walls all the time, but it's because I'm like wildly overcompensating. Um, and some of that might be because of the slight input lag,
Hmm.
slowing me down a little bit. But in a game like F-Zero, you notice it, and we talked about how that game is like an arcade game. It's like a precision game.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of room for kind of messing around with that one. Um, but for something like Strikers, you get a little bit more leeway. Even something like Wind Waker, you might notice a little bit more with it too. But um, that I have not dabbled around with. But anyways, I did really enjoy Strikers. I think it was a lot of fun. So might be something I'll go through and kind of dabble with from time to time, but probably not something I'll kind of go through and try to unlock everything with. I just really like the option that is there. Um, but that's all I had to say from that. Otherwise, did I have anything else game wise? I thought there was maybe like one more thing that I had kind of messed around with, but
Hmm.
those are I think the big things for right now. What about you? What have you been playing? I know you said you had one big game.
I've had one game, not necessarily big, but the game is
Oh, okay.
called Peak.
Okay.
It is a game where the point of the game is to climb a mountaintop.
Okay.
Once you get to the top of the mountain, another mountain appears, and then so on and so forth, and you go through multiple generated mountains. There are new ones generated each day from a group of seeds, and the point of the game is to make it through all of the mountains and you know get out of being lost. It's a four-player game where it has this like stamina system like Breath of the Wild, but you can get items while you're like hiking along the mountains to make it so that you can climb higher and faster and this, that, and the other. And it's also kind of like a roguelike because there are always like rising fog that causes you to freeze to death if you're on the mountain for too long. So you're racing against time as well to get to the top of the mountain. It's very fun. So that game is really good. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's one of those party games, a lot like Repo,
Hmm.
um, or like Lethal Company, those sort of games. It's kind of like the flavor of the week currently, but it's really good, really fun, very silly party game to play with friends because because it has like proximity voice chat. So you may be being helped by a friend. Next thing you know, you lose your stamina and you plummet down the mountain, and they can just hear you as you're screaming, falling, asking them for help. And moments like those are really, really silly and entertaining. So there's that. So yeah, but that's the only game I played.
Okay.
But I did listen to you finally.
Listen to me.
Yeah, I watched
About what?
Severance.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
I
How
finished
much
the
have you gotten to
entire
watch so
first
far?
season. I finished
Oh
the
really?
first season in a day.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm 4 episodes into season 2.
Oh good. So
So
you're really moving along.
I love the show. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's excellent.
I did not expect it to be this good. Me and Katie are actually watching it together, and it has constantly kept our attention throughout the entire series so far.
Yeah, that
This feels like very special, you know? Like the last
yes.
time I felt like something was this special, like watching a TV show or like some kind of form of entertainment, it was probably like Mr. Robot or Game of Thrones. It feels like that. Like it's that fucking good.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
And it was definitely, especially around the time it was coming out. And I don't know if it was just kind of like my bubble,
Hmm.
but it was definitely like that was like the the show to talk about in the office. Like, did you see
Literally
what happened
no
in Severance?
one I've talked to has talked about the show or
Yeah,
even watched a single episode except you. And I finally um decided to watch it,
which is
and
pretty wild because at the
it's just been
time, like,
going since watching it. Like
I remember the
we
office I was
literally
at when this
shotgun
came
some
out, like
episodes.
everyone was watching it. Like it wasn't even just me. It was like multiple people.
Yep.
Um which is much closer to, let's say, like my Game of Thrones experience. Although
Hmm.
definitely this was not watched as much as that. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, I agree. This game and that cliffhanger at the end of season 1. Like I know you don't
Oh yeah.
appreciate it as much as I do because I had to wait 2 years to see how it resolved.
It was
Um
2 years in between that.
yes.
Holy fuck, dude! When did the first season air?
It came out in 2022. Is when it finished up. It finished up in April 2022
Oh
because I
my
remember what I
god!
was doing at the time. And then and then the new season came out in January of this year.
This
Um,
year? You mean last year?
nope, January of this year.
What?
Yeah. hmm
What?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! So I'm okay. All right then. This series isn't over, right?
No, it's
Okay,
definitely
good.
not. They did say that they've already started work on season 3, and they do not expect it to be nearly as long of a turnaround. There was a couple issues that they ran into in terms of production that slowed it down. One was the writer's strike.
Uh huh.
That happened in the middle of this, if you remember.
Probably also COVID. You know.
Yeah, COVID also. That was prime COVID time still. I remember I was still masking and everything at the time that the show was airing. And especially too, considering that was the time it was airing, obviously when it was produced, that was more COVID time. So you had that. And then the other thing is too, they actually one of their showrunners ended up leaving and they ended up having to change some things around in
I
that
keep seeing
regards.
that
But
Ben Stiller has been working on like almost every single fucking episode. I'm very surprised that he put this out as the director.
yeah, Ben
Uh
Stiller is the executive. I think he's the executive
it's a
one of the
director on a
executive.
few episodes, I think.
Oh, really? He might have been
Yeah.
a director too, but he definitely has an executive role on the show overall,
All I know
as
is
well.
like there's just
Mhm.
so many good things I could say about this. Like for example, and I'm not gonna go into spoilers or anything, but a lot of internet horror comes from like liminal spaces and shit
Mhm.
nowadays. And
Yeah,
this show is like liminal spaces, the television show. It is very like haunting the way this show is filmed. It is crazy good.
yeah, I agree. I'm really interested to see what you think at the end of season 2
Season
because
two. Yeah.
mhm.
I'll probably
People are
finish it
definitely
before
a
the
lot
end of
more
tonight.
mixed on it.
I'm
Oh,
probably will literally finish it before the end of tonight. I literally once I get off this podcast, I'm just gonna go and watch more episodes. I'm not even kidding.
yeah, because there's only what eight or 10 episodes for this
I
season.
don't
I
know.
can't
I
remember.
haven't looked. I have not looked
Yeah,
at all. I've just been hitting play after
play.
every episode.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I
it's
didn't even
excellent.
know that season 2 was from this year. I didn't know that. So
Yeah. So surprise. Yeah, so you definitely had the better experience in that regard than I
that's
did, but
insane though, because
yeah.
that ending to season 1 is crazy. Katie,
Yes.
season 1's ending, right? Holy shit. No. Hold on. This is what Mike just said. You listening? Season 1 ended in 2022. Season 2 premiered this year. That's how long they had to wait for the cliffhanger ending. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. And you're like, "Oh my god." Like that's literally like your jaw's on the floor at the end of season 1.
Yeah,
You're like, "Oh my god." And
the
then
the
it's just
ending
like,
of season 1 was fucking incredible.
yeah, that was like masterful.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how that all wrapped up, and I was really happy to when we decided to go back and watch season 2 this year. I made us stop, and I was like, "No, we're rewatching season 1 first." And like it's been so much time, and I'm glad I did because there was some stuff that you remember, like that cliffhanger you don't forget, but there's also strange stuff that you don't remember, like the ghosts. Like I don't remember that. That
I
totally
remember.
slipped
Well,
out of my
I
mind.
knew
Mhm.
about the goats,
Yeah,
but I
I mean,
watched all of it in the same day. So like, it's
yeah.
a
So
very
yeah,
big difference, you know?
it's a little bit more memorable when it's there.
Yeah.
Like, my memories of it were just kind of more of the real jaw dropping stuff, and not some more of
Ah,
the
okay.
like the more nuanced stuff. Um, so yeah, I was really good. Glad that I went through and watched it again, but I thought
Hmm.
it was excellent. I know some people. There's a lot more mixed opinions on the end of season 2. So It'll be interesting to see what you think of that one. But I appreciate the direction that they take it. I can see why they decided to go that way, but I can see why some people are a little bit more hesitant. One
Hmm.
thing I thought was really interesting that I saw, what's the guy's name? Is it Milchuk?
Yeah, Milchek. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, a fun fact, apparently he was just supposed to be like an incidental, like maybe like recurring character.
Hmm.
But they liked him so much they boosted him up to like a more prominent role. I think that
Yeah,
was a
he's
great
really
choice.
good. He's really good.
Yeah, I really like him. I think he's
Hmm.
hey, I think the actor's like phenomenal. But I think that they did a great job in terms of like building up his character and making him like really really unique in that universe. So
Hmm.
yeah.
This is one of those shows where like you can try to guess what the symbolism or what's going on with pretty much every fucking episode I found.
Mhm.
And like there's little hints to things throughout every episode that I also realized while we were watching, and I was like, huh, okay. Like um I'll say this one thing.
Mhm.
Um at the start of season 2, when all of them are coming out of the elevator and
Mhm.
everything, there was something I noticed, and I'm sure, and this is one of the things I like the most about the show. A lot of these questions I have about things that are going on in the show, and this is why I think I like it so much, are
Mhm.
literally answered in the exact same episode that they are presented,
Yes, it
so
really
that we
it
can
doesn't
just
hold
move
on to
on to
secrets for
more
too long.
questions next. The secrets don't last like a long fucking time. But
Yeah.
then when they reveal something that's like a very big, real, legitimate like twist, it has a big impact. You're like, holy shit! Like, okay, you know. But even with that, they don't really hold on to those moments for a very long time, so it doesn't give it time to get stale. And I like
Yes.
that aspect
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah, and they
And
also
I
give
also
you I
like
think
that they give you both sides. Like some episodes, it'll be like you see this and you see this. Like why were they doing this? Why were they acting like this? And then literally like the next episode, it's like let's explain what was happening while this was happening. And it's like, oh, okay, well. That's cool, you know, and then you
yeah.
have a lot more questions that then get answered in that same episode. It's like I love this. This is just fantastic. The writing's so fucking good. I
Yeah, I
cannot
agree.
praise this show enough.
And I think another thing that it does really well too is like for stuff that is coming up that's kind of bigger surprises, generally they give you clues for it too. Like there's a couple things I know, especially in season 2, that like we had made some reasonable predictions to, and
I've
we
got a
were
few right now myself, so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you're probably not too far off from what's actually going on, or at least somewhere in that ballpark, which is great.
yeah,
So it doesn't give you something like it always kills me too when it's like they're like, oh, twist, and it's so far in the fucking right field. You're like,
yeah.
nobody ever would have seen this coming, and it doesn't make sense in the context. A lot of the stuff that comes up, especially in season 2, you're like, yep, that's kind of what I expected that was going to happen, and I'm
Hmm.
glad it happened this way, or it was close to how I expected it to be, with maybe some like nuance, but nothing
Hmm.
I found was like, okay, I'm like, I don't not nothing I was like, oh, I don't like this or I'm not happy with this.
Hmm.
Or I didn't see this coming and it was a total blindside. No,
Yeah.
everything was just really really in a good direction, and they keep the secrets that they need to keep, but nothing is so sacred that they won't, kind of give you that information as they find it's appropriate,
And
which is
then that
great.
information always leads to more information being given
Yes.
to you, and it allows you to
Mhm.
piece together more stuff and whatnot. So you still have that time during whatever like the next episode is to be able to like make guesses about things, and then maybe in the next one you get those answers right away, and then you're like,
Yes.
oh shit, I was right. Okay, cool. And I kind of have had a lot of those moments in the show, and I really really appreciate that because it does feel like the show's not really wasting my time either, which is something I can like for a show that has a lot of, the easiest way to put it is like down moments where like nothing is happening. There are a lot of moments where literally nothing is happening. We're just like walking. We're just like
Yeah.
sitting at a desk and talking about something, but even the characters don't know what they're talking about. So they're just kind of like chatting, and there's really nothing going on. There's no action, there's no suspense, there's no nothing. It's just chatting about a thing that's giving you kind of like expedition. But Yeah, exposition.
Exposition.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But even with that like in mind, it still adds enough to the story that it has you hooked there and you're like, "Oh, well does this have some kind of point?" And then most of the time the answer to that is yes, it does. And you're about to find out what the point was. And
Hmm.
I like that about it a lot because it feels like even those moments that are like very slow are done on purpose.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm very, very impressed by this. I'm very impressed by the writing. Yeah, just in general, the show's fantastic, and I cannot say enough good things about it. So, yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoy it. I can't wait to hear how. I can't wait till next week to hear how you think when it is when it finishes up. So.
Here's the thing: I
Mhm.
didn't think that season 3 of Squid Games was bad. I just thought it was okay.
Mhm.
And if I can have that kind of hot take, I'm probably going to be more on the side of really enjoying what the end of season 2 of Severance is, but we'll see what happens. So.
I think you'll at least appreciate it, but we'll see. I said I liked it, um, but they didn't go as balls to the wall as they did with season one. I'll
Season
say
one's
that.
ending was fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that was so risky too because it's like
mhm,
because you think about it, it's like you never know if you're gonna have a second. You never know if you're gonna have another season. There's
mhm.
always things that could run into it, and obviously even too with the production difficulties they ran into. Nearly 3 years to get out another season.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you really kind of that's a big ask for fans, but
Mhm.
apparently the show did very well, even coming back as late as it did, and even had some good numbers for it. So, and I know they already picked it up for season three, so that's good.
That's
Uh,
fantastic news
mhm.
because yeah, this is like this is one of those shows that I do feel like. So when I was watching Breaking Bad, I came in when season 3 was airing on TV, and
Yeah, I think I did about the same.
I'd watched all
Mhm,
of season 2 like in a weekend. Season 1 and 2 in like a weekend,
mhm,
basically. I just shotgunned the shit out of season 1 and 2 of Breaking Bad. And then I caught up to watch season 3 as it was airing, and I watched from there on TV onwards till the very end of Breaking Bad, basically.
mhm,
And I do feel like I'm kind of having the same experience with this show, where I'm watching it all like really quickly, but it's something that when the actual series comes back, I'll be watching
mhm,
right alongside with it whenever it releases because it's that good and it feels that like well made and like it will be that kind of important of a show in
mhm.
like the general zeitgeist of like a television entertainment sort of deal
Yeah, mhm,
because it does feel like a show that would hook a lot of people very quickly if they saw it, and that at some point it probably will get the recognition it deserves and become a massive fucking hit. So, yeah,
oh, yeah. Actually, if you're looking for another Apple TV show, do you like spy stuff?
I can watch literally any TV show on any streaming platform right now. So you can recommend me anything.
Well, no, that's fine, but just because obviously it's on the same service, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Um,
not.
but do you like spy stuff?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
of
spy shows?
course. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, the show that's on Apple TV as well, that I don't think gets enough recognition, but it's really good. Slow Horses,
Okay,
is
I've
excellent.
never heard of this, but I'll look into it.
It's got Gary Oldman in it. He's kind
Okay,
of basically the premise of the show is that it's like MI5. It's like their rejects, like they get sent to like this um basically a place where they don't do real spy stuff. They just kind of get like menial tasks to do. But
okay,
just kind of in the context of the story, they always end up getting stuck in kind of these like grander missions.
I see.
Um, it's it's really interesting. DJ was even very like hesitant on it when we started watching it, but
Hmm.
like the shows, it's a British show, so the seasons are short. They're like 6 episodes long,
Hmm.
but they're fucking packed. Like there's a lot of stuff, and also it just kind of like it's one of those shows that's kind of like there are no rules.
Oh, okay.
Anything that you think is sacred, uh, can be taken out. You think this character is important? Dead. Like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah. Game of
like
Thrones
one of those
style.
shows.
Got it.
Yes. But it's all spy stuff, and like some of the stuff that happens is just like so dramatic and just kind of
Mm.
like intense. Like it will really suck you in. But the seasons, like it has, like I said, they're really short episodes, but the characters are so well written. Like I think you actually would really enjoy it.
Okay.
But I don't think that show. It's like it gets like critically, like it's really well reviewed, but it's one of those shows that just nobody watches. Apple's already picked it up. They just today they announced they picked it up for the seventh season. There's only 4 seasons on the service currently, so there's
Okay.
like 3 more that are in kind of like the pipeline right now. But they're great. They usually do 2 seasons a year, kind of like one in the fall, one in the spring. So,
Okay.
yeah, I actually highly recommend that. So if you're looking for something else kind of on Apple TV, that would actually probably be my like next highest recommendation. And there's enough episodes there it should keep you busy for a while. So,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll see about that because I mean, I thought there might be enough episodes of this, but I'm just shotgunning through this one.
I know you'll be like, I watched Slow Horses in a Day. What else you got? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
kind of.
Um, yeah. No, that's fine. But yeah, I would say that's a great show. Actually, that's another one I think you probably would really
Mm,
enjoy. So I like that show a lot. I think I've watched at least the first two seasons. I think I watched twice, and the more 2 recent seasons I've only just kind of watched because they're newer. But
okay.
yeah, that show I do. Like I said, I think it's great. Anything else you've been playing or want to talk about before we move on to news? There's a little bit of news that we do have to talk about.
Um, let me just double check because I don't remember playing anything else. But no, honestly, I haven't played anything else.
All
I've been,
right.
like I said, I've been watching TV. I watched I'm watching Breaking Bad with Katie because she's never seen it, and then we
Mhm.
took a break from watching Breaking Bad once we got like into season 2-ish,
Mhm.
and we
Yeah.
started watching Severance, and now we're about to finish Severance.
Okay. Well, there you go. Nice little detour
Yeah.
thing there. All right. So news. And really there's just one piece of news that I really want to talk about. You might have more, but there is one really big news this week. And
Okay.
it's what the fuck is Microsoft doing?
Oh
That
my
is the
God.
news.
Yeah, you know what?
Um
Yeah, that's totally fair. Microsoft is a absolute mess, and they're a fucking clown show right now.
yeah, this is
Uh
they've had massive layoffs again this week.
I cannot believe how fucking disrespectful they were towards the people they laid off. Did you read the write up that they sent to the people they fired?
I've seen a bunch of different ones where they're
Which
like
one?
the one where they're like, "Oh, you can talk to an AI to
Yeah, you can
discuss
talk to an
your
AI to discuss your fucking mental health.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's like
Okay.
wow,
Uh,
Microsoft fucking tone deaf dumbasses.
Yeah, and I honestly, from top to bottom, I mean, really, there's so much stuff there. They're closing studios that haven't even put out games yet. They are, canceling a lot of projects. They laid off, I think, thousands of people again. Um, and it just this just screams to me that they just absolutely have no clue what they're doing, and they've been mismanaging their teams for who knows how long.
Yeah.
I will say,
We
just kind of,
lost the new Perfect Dark. I'm pretty upset about that, honestly.
yeah, and there's another game that was in development that I guess just recently had gotten shown off to Phil Spencer, who apparently enjoyed it so much they had to pry the controller out of his hands, is how it was reported.
Yes, and
Canceled.
then they canceled
Um,
it. Yep.
yeah. You have stuff like that, like John Romero, his whole studio got shuttered in this whole mess.
Yep.
But kind of the other side of it too, though, if you think about it, like, okay, this is really shitty what they're doing. Now, obviously, they bought up a lot of these studios to build up content for Game Pass and for Xbox, and that obviously didn't work out for them. Okay, that's one problem. But the other problem is, why are you letting all of your studios just kind of like do whatever the
Rot?
fuck they want, and
Literally
then
do
come
nothing?
back? Yeah, and then come back like a couple years later and be like, all right, where's our game? And they have nothing to show for it. Like, why is there so little oversight? Why are you not holding these people accountable? Why are there no, like, obviously, like, deadlines or things moving? This seems like it's just a total, just absolute mess. Like, I don't have
Mhm.
any nice way to put it. Like, this is just absolutely just I honestly kind of want to say disgusting in some
Yeah.
ways, because
No.
they spent all this money on these studios and they just squandered it, and just absolutely destroyed the stuff that they had in the pipeline there. And just with some tighter management and some actual realistic deadlines, I don't think we would be in this place, or at least people would not, this many thousands of people wouldn't be out of their job. But really just seems like what they do is they buy a studio and be like, here's some money, do what you want, make us a game, and
And then
that's
they
it. And they
just
just kind of check in a while later and they're like, okay, where's our game? Like, no, nothing in between. And then
yeah.
when the game's not there, they're like, bye. Like,
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels
absolutely
like
ridiculous.
it's being run by actual fucking idiots. Like, there's no other way to put it. They are actually fucking idiots the way they are running the company currently. They are just, they're pretty much being like, oh, take as much time as you need. And then they come back at an undisclosed amount of time. They're like, now we need you to be done. And they're like, what? What the fuck? You said I have as much time as I need. And they're like, now you're fired. It's like,
Yeah,
Microsoft, what the fuck are you doing? Are you
yeah,
stupid?
yeah. It's
And the
absolutely
answer
like I
is
said,
yes.
nonsense.
Yes, they are stupid. They're actually
Mhm.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's rumors now today. I did see that that they may just be. Well, I didn't see it today. It was this last week though.
Mhm.
That they may just even be done with hardware. Period, and just
Yeah.
kind of move into software Game Pass kind of as a service.
So what I did see, one of the main things was, to add on a little bit to that, and also kind of clarify a little bit as well.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily that they're done with hardware; it's that they're done having their internal team make their hardware. They'll outsource to people like Asus or whatever to make the hardware for them, like they're doing currently with the
Yes.
the Xbox handheld and that sort of deal. So then they don't have to be on the line about if the hardware flops or not, and uh, although I will say that is fairly smart and would work, I still feel like it's really hard to care because of how much they're mismanaging literally everything right now.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think, well, I agree in some ways. I think it makes sense from a PC perspective, but I do think that it makes their console, like home console, perspectives a little bit more difficult because
I
if you don't
think
have
you have to think about how bad their home console perspective has been for the last 6 years, and
oh
then
yeah,
look at it that way and be like,
it's been
well,
longer than
at
6 years,
least
but
I know.
yeah,
I'm just saying, look at it that way and be like, well, at least with this, there's still something people can buy if they really do want to use an Xbox or whatever for Xbox, or they really do just want a machine for Game Pass. It's like, okay, I get it if that's what you want to do and everything. But like Xbox as a console absolutely would be dead. Xbox as a brand will still exist, but the question is
not for much longer. That's right.
for how much longer without the output of games. But then again, you have to also think from a business standpoint, right?
hmm
Uh like I'm going to put aside my feelings because my feelings are I absolutely hate what they're doing and I think it's fucking scummy as shit. Those are my feelings.
hmm
But if you think from a very corrupt business standpoint, as like if I put myself in like fucking Daddy Warbucks mode, Microsoft would still continue to exist for quite a while with their current strategy, but they would be stepping on so many people and so many toes that it wouldn't matter in the long run, but they would still make a lot of money by those few games that they do put out, like your Indiana Jones, like your like Sea of Thieves, like your games like Forza Horizon, because Forza Motorsport was canceled permanently now. That was another announcement from Microsoft that we saw. That's fucking wild.
Oh,
Like your
yeah.
Gears of War, those kind of games won't sell as much because Game Pass, but people will double dip on them or single dip on them on PS5, on Switch 2, and that sort of deal. So Microsoft would continue to exist as a brand that way, but as an actual like console, they would not. And at this point, from a consumer standpoint, I really like Game Pass. But from a moral standpoint, what
hmm
Microsoft is doing is absolute fucking shit. Like
Yeah.
they are doing very very bad things right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's a total disaster. And I think even too, and I even said this, I don't know, like a few months ago when this was all starting, and
hmm
they were kind of starting this kind of process. Um, that I really didn't think that they had kind of an idea of what direction that they were going. They're just like, we got to make money somehow, and then
Yeah,
that's what they seem to trying to do. But the farther they go down this rabbit hole that they're heading,
yeah.
the more inevitable that it is that they will be out of the hardware business. Um, I think
In
that seems.
home, or do you mean altogether, even with other companies backing them?
I honestly think if they do not have a home console like that specs, I mean,
Well,
granted,
that's the thing. That's the thing, right?
you can work with obviously like a third party to kind of help design that kind of
Steam
thing.
machines existed,
Hmm.
which were a home console version essentially of PCs. I do fully see Microsoft in the future doing something like that and just having it be like Microsoft Windows machines instead of Xbox machines. But
And that's
then,
fair, but there is a
you know,
definite distinction there, which I don't know
yeah,
if
no,
you're
no,
like kind of okay.
I
Um,
understand completely what you're saying. It's not the same as the Xbox brand, and I get that. I don't
well,
think they
no, that's
want the
not even
Xbox
not what
brand
I'm
anymore.
saying too. The
Anyway,
big
okay, go
thing,
on.
the big difference between PC and console hardware
Hmm.
is that console hardware is very specific and very set. You don't get a lot of like
I'll
like,
let you
oh, this
continue.
this console has a slightly different RAM. Like my
Hmm.
my Switch is not inherently different than yours.
Yes.
For example.
Hmm.
Or even, even with Xboxes, I have a Series X, I think you have a Series S.
Yeah.
A
No, I
little bit
have a
more
Series
difference
X.
there,
I have a
but you're
Series X.
really looking at, two different SKUs that you're kind of
Yes.
operating with.
Yes.
Whereas, obviously the stuff that's on the PC, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of different variations.
So
Um,
interesting about that, and that's what I was trying to get at.
mhm.
There is an example of stuff that is on PC that is not that and is more close to a console, and that's Steam Decks. If they made a console version of like a Steam Deck, one where everyone has the same stuff, but it works like a Steam Deck does, then everyone still has the same, settings that they'd be able to run their games at. Everyone still has the same, resolution they'd be able to run their games at. Everyone still has the same hertz that the screen would run at, that sort of thing. And it's kind of what
Mhm.
they're doing right now with the ROG Ally Xbox, because everyone's ROG Ally Xbox, even though it is a PC, is still going to be the same PC, is not going to have different specs. There'll be two SKUs, sort of like the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, and that's how the ROGs work essentially. So everyone has the same two consoles to choose from, kind of like Xbox currently has when it comes to the ROG Ally Xbox. So I do think if something was made like that, but as like a console PC, so like just take a Steam Deck, just take an ROG Xbox and put that into a box and give it a better graphics card and make it more expensive, obviously, that sort of deal.
Mhm.
That would be how they would handle that sort of situation, and then everyone would be on the same playing field, and they wouldn't have to optimize it for so many different systems and whatever, because the only things that would get pushed to those systems would be the updates specifically for those systems. Even though they are still a PC, it does not matter because they would all have the same hardware inside of it.
Yeah, and that's
So
definitely a
that's what I was trying to get
reasonable.
at.
No, and that is definitely a reasonable option. Whether or not they actually go that route, who knows?
When
And
you
there's a
partner
lot
with
of
Asus, it tends to be for a while when someone partners with Asus. So I do feel like it's the start of something like that. Especially since for a while now we've been seeing like the Xbox Steam machine that people have been talking about for like the last 3 years, where they're like, you'll be able to play your Steam games on Xbox. And I think the reason why that will happen is because it's not actually an Xbox. It's one of these computers that I'm talking about right now. And
yeah.
it's just, they have two SKUs or one SKU, depending on how Microsoft wants to do it. And
Mhm.
then you buy the PC console, and it allows you to play anything that you can on Epic Games, on Steam, on whatever computer launcher there is. So when it comes to that, and at that point, you could play literally anything. We've had this conversation before, but if they have the Steam launcher, you can play Spider-Man. You can play
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 on your Xbox then, in that case. And I do think that with them failing as much as they are being able to manage it, the easiest thing to do would probably just be like, all right, Asus, you're pretty good when it comes to hardware. Do it for us. Here's a fat stack of cash. Just do it. And then that's it. Because Asus already has the money, so it's not going to be like they're going to fire Asus. Asus will be like, the fuck you? I'll fire you, Microsoft. Go fucking kiss my ass,
Yeah. No, I know. But I mean, on the flip side, though, have they announced the price for this console yet?
Oh, the ROG Xbox, bro, it's
Mhm.
probably like $7.99 because it's a handheld, and handheld Windows PCs are expensive.
Yeah, I know, but that's I think that's the other
The
kind of.
reason why the Steam Deck's not as expensive is because it's running on its own architecture using a Linux, which means you don't have to, have so many different licenses and shit like that. And
It doesn't need as much resources
it
as
doesn't
Windows
need as
does.
much resources as Windows, so it's a lot easier to make a system that runs better with also not having to spend as much money. Now, granted, these ROG systems that are coming out now are better handheld PCs than the Steam Deck are, but also they cost like 400, they cost like $400 more. So, there's that. So,
Yeah.
I do think it'll be those niche kind of Xbox PCs for the people that are Xbox ride or die for life, that sort of deal. Or for people that just like technology and would rather have a more convenient way to play games on a higher end system and would like to do PC gaming, but also don't want to deal with the hassle of it. And I think that's something that does have a place in the market, honestly.
Yeah, and definitely could be. I I do think that even if Microsoft decides to go this route that we're kind of theorizing about, I think it will be
Yeah.
a very tough sell. Um, and I think the problem that they're going to run into, honestly, kind of if they don't have something more specific, is that eventually what's going to happen is they're going to transition more into just completely third party and PC, and that's it. Like I don't think because I think they're gonna have a
I think
hard
that's what they
time.
want to do.
At this point, I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Just based on this last week, I think that's definitely what they
Yeah.
want to do. Because I think that they're looking at it and be like, hey, we make so much more money off of the games than we do for the
Hmm.
hardware, and if we cut out the hardware of the equation, maybe we can manage these studios a little bit better and actually get them to put stuff out.
That's exactly
Um,
what I'm thinking. For like in this case, like I currently Microsoft is on my shit list for
mhm.
everything they've been doing, but I do think from a business standpoint, what we just talked about makes the most sense for them to do, and would probably save them from certain failure in for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly there's stuff out today. Apparently, like Game Pass is profitable, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Um, and granted, they the way that they do numbers makes sense in some ways, but doesn't in other ways. But
Yeah.
because apparently the way that they decide is profitable, like the cost of game development, first party game development, does not go into the profit loss for um game Game Pass.
Okay.
Uh, but things like, third party like acquisitions do, which makes sense because obviously that's something else that you're paying for. So they're making money for that, and then the games themselves, in terms of how they're reviewed, in terms of their profit, really just has to do with like their game development and the game pass costs or like money that they would have gotten from that is not counted towards the game's profit in that sense. So they're only counting it kind of one way or the other.
Hmm.
So the games, when they're saying they're profitable, they're really just looking at pure sales, not Game Pass, which is good. And it seems like they're still making money off of their games, even Game Pass or not. So that's good. But still, I think with Microsoft, when they made all these acquisitions, we were expecting really good things, and I think all we've really gotten has been disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, I I've gotten a bit more out of it than you because I did used to buy yearly Call of Duties, but at the same time, Call of Duty has gone downhill so much now that it doesn't even matter that I'm not having to pay for them yearly and it's just part of Game Pass because they're just not
It's only this
good.
last Call of Duty release, right? Or am I forgetting? Was there 2 years?
I think it's been two. So
Okay.
I think we're at two now. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it even matters. I'm just saying like I I play a lot of games that are on Game Pass, and I
Yeah.
think
Well,
a
I'm not
lot
talking about
of
Game Pass
good
in
games.
specific. I'm just talking about their first party output. Just
Uh,
period.
yeah, I mean,
Like the amount of studios that they bought versus like stuff that was actually worthwhile that
yeah,
came out. Like, yeah, sure. There's the fluff titles that come out every year. Like I'm gonna call Call of Duty a fluff title because it comes out yearly. But
mhm,
obviously that's a big money maker for them. And stuff like Forza and stuff that's been kind of
yeah,
remotely successful. Bethesda obviously is a very good purchase for them because that seems to put out a lot of stuff that has
it
generated money
does,
for them.
it does, it does.
Um, but you look at stuff like what was I just gonna say? Like, Hellblade. They got Hellblade 2, and it was
Yep.
kind of like, and then what was it? Tim Schafer Studio. You got
Oh,
Psychonauts
Psychonauts 2 is
2,
fantastic though, but they
which is
they
great,
only made that.
but that's
That's
it.
it. It's over. It's
Yeah.
over now. Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that they went and purchased was a lot of studios that they went and purchased had games that were like imminent, and then they came
Hmm.
out, and then it's like nothing, or
Yeah.
like or they invested in studio like John Romero, nothing came from that, nothing there. The new Perfect Dark game, they took the time to build up this new Perfect Dark, show it off, proof of concept, canceled. So a lot of this and some of the other stuff that we've gotten that they got kind of been trying to hype up, like where I just mentioned Hellblade 2, or what was that stupid vampire game? Just like total just flop bullshit stuff that they kind of rushed out the door because it had been in development so long. They're like, this needs to come out,
Hmm.
and just the quality is just not there. Um, yeah, so I like I said, I just think it's just been mismanaged from top to bottom. I really don't have anything good to
Yeah,
say other
I
than
don't
hopefully
really
this.
disagree either. I can't. I can enjoy my time with Game Pass and with a lot of the games they put on it that are their first party titles,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to be like these are quality titles. A lot of titles that are first party, especially like for instance the new Forza that recently came out, they just
Mhm.
feel like nothing burgers. They feel
Yeah,
like nothing.
I think the one that impressed me the most, which I'm still kind of just really high on this game, was Indiana Jones. That one
Yeah,
just came
but
like so far
that
out of left
is
field, and it was so well built. Like,
that's IdTech. That's
mhm.
Bethesda. No.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, Bethesda's definitely where they've gotten like their best investment out of. Like, they've got some really good stuff. I know you're just talking about Doom: The Dark Ages recently,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I know it's a good game. It's just not. It doesn't hook me. So,
yeah,
but I
exactly.
know
But
people really
still,
like
not a
it.
total
So
flop like
again,
the other,
not a
like a
total
lot of the other
flop.
stuff that come
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the worst thing that Bethesda's done, in their time with Microsoft is Starfield, whatever it's called.
Starfield
Um,
is dog shit.
yeah. Um, but I mean, really, that's kind of the worst you have to kind of
And like
say about.
recently had the Oblivion remake, which was really good also. So
Yeah.
that's another
Mhm.
one right there. I do think Bethesda under Microsoft has put out quality titles.
Yes, I think Bethesda's actually improved under Microsoft. Um, and I think some of that has to do with that because I think Microsoft makes them QA a little bit more. Like, I don't think their games are just complete buggy messes like they used to be. They're still
No,
buggy,
you're.
but
I was
not
gonna say.
complete buggy.
I was gonna say I disagree. I know with Oblivion, some of the bugs that were in the old version of Oblivion that got
Uh-huh.
patched actually
Mhm.
came back for the remaster.
Oh, good. They
It's really
remastered the
funny.
bugs.
They remastered the bugs even. It's hilarious.
Perfect. Um, yeah, but I mean, this is not like, say, like, remember how bad Skyrim was when that came out?
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
I mean specifically on PS3. I would point to more so like
360 wasn't much better, at least in my
yeah,
recollection from GameStop when I was there.
yeah.
Um, I mean, the PS3 version, that was horrific,
Mhm.
but the Xbox One definitely had issues too. Just maybe not as many issues, but still issues.
The
Um,
PS3 version was so fucked that if you had too many save files, the game wouldn't even boot anymore. Like that's fucked up. Did you know
yeah,
about that?
no,
There was
sounds like
literally
Bethesda.
there was literally a memory leak in the game that
Mhm.
the further you saved in your save files into the game, the worse the game would perform because of the memory leak.
Oh, I did actually. Once you put it like that, I did vaguely know that. I guess I didn't realize that at some point it just stopped. That was the part I did not know.
Yeah, eventually you will just boot up your game and it'll just crash every single time, and then
Mhm.
you have to start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was really bad on PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
man.
think I think I think Microsoft's third party games. Oh, okay, I think Microsoft's games that they release on third party platforms do better for them. That's what I was trying to say. So, like for instance, Indiana Jones, I think did better on PlayStation 5, and then you got things like Forza, which I know did well on
Mhm.
PS5, but you got to take into account it was going up against it was Forza Horizon 5 going up against the Forza Motorsport game that just released like a year before. And
Mhm.
Forza Motorsport was not a good game. So it did better than Forza Motorsport did. I think that's
Mhm.
what inevitably killed the Forza Motorsport games. Like one bad game seems to be like all Microsoft needs to be like, all right, pack it up, get the fuck out.
Yep.
You know?
Bye. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, they just, like I said, just very mismanaged. So, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this mess.
Yeah.
I even at this point that we're recording, like it still is the fallout is still becoming known. So there's probably more that we'll know by the time we come around next week. Um, Speaking of Xbox, I guess one other kind of thing that I saw there too, just because I thought it was interesting, but um, there was a studio that came out this week um, that's known for porting games that basically said, you know, if a game can run 60 frames per second on the Series X, Series S, I need to clarify because I think I mumbled that a little bit. Series S, then it can be ported to the Switch too. Basically, what they said.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's what I heard too.
mhm.
I do have another piece of news that I
Yeah,
want to talk about because this one's wild.
uh-huh.
The terms of service for Ubisoft was changed. Did you read this?
No, I don't think so.
So, do you know about the Stop Killing Games initiative
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Europe? The one
Hmm.
where it's like, hey, you should be able to, you know, continue to
Yes.
play your games after they're dead, be it like, private servers or have a single player option for games, that sort of deal after the games are sunset. Just give you something, like maybe release a multiplayer game with bots or something. Just give you
Hmm.
something. That's essentially what it's saying. Don't take our games away from us. Allow us to
Hmm.
have preservation and be able to play games that existed that we've already paid for. Um, so that initiative is doing really well. It went from having like only 200,000 to like 1 million in a week because of a dumbass named Pirate Software, who I will not go into all of the details, but he is just a petty nepo baby, and that's the easiest
Hmm.
way to describe him. So if you're interested in learning more about what ended up making this, succeed so much, him being a piece of shit kind of put more eyes on this on Stop Killing Games as a whole, the initiative. But
Uh-huh.
moving on from that, they've been making some headway, and then Embracer Group, Ubisoft, and like Blizzard all stepped forward and they were like, so we investigated what you guys were talking about, and we found out that yeah, we won't do that. They're like, oh, okay, well that sucks. But even though that it would they actually want to try to get into like legal legislation to go through with it. But then there was another thing that happened because it did seem like it was getting even more headway after that came out. So Ubisoft decided to change their terms of service, which is insane.
Hmm.
Their new EULA and terms of service for games are even if you own a physical copy of a game, if the servers or something gets sunsetted and it's no longer playable, it is on you to physically destroy your copy. Otherwise, you could be violating the terms of service with Ubisoft, your Ubisoft account,
Yeah,
for still owning physical copies of their games.
all that's gonna do is piss off the EU. That's all it's gonna do. I think if anything, it's gonna make it more likely that this ends up having a positive outcome for gamers.
I was thinking that too, because they
Because the
got
EU
like
does not mess around with that stuff.
very petty about it when they got put under a microscope after the initiative like started getting more legs on it and that sort of deal, and they got like super petty to the point where they are like, yeah, no, now we want you to destroy your physical copies of games also, otherwise you're breaking their terms of service. And it's like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, good
Ubisoft.
luck with that one.
But
Good luck, Ubisoft.
it did go like a step further where it said like retailers would have to destroy them. And it's like, oh, that kind of would work, because if retailers no longer allowed them to be sold and actually physically destroyed the copies after like the servers are shut down, that would be pretty fucked. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I
it's
remember when I worked at GameStop, we would periodically do that with, say, like PC games.
yeah.
If there's stuff that was, no longer available to be used, we'd pennied out and we were supposed to destroy it. So I mean, that practice is not like unheard of. Um,
Apparently,
But
several other companies also adopt that practice, but Ubisoft decided to like, fucking
put it front and center.
put it front and center and just be really shitty, and then everyone took note of it and was like, "Well, you guys are fucking stupid."
Yeah, I do think that it's going to backfire. Actually, I'm kind of optimistic with this movement and seeing where things are. I don't, and the thing is too, it's not like they're asking for anything incredible. I
No,
think honestly, I think all they're really asking for at the end of the day is basically like, hey, if you're going to give up on this game, just leave the back door open so we
yep.
can put our own servers in. The end. Like that's it. Like we don't want anything from you once you're done
And
with
there's
it. We
so
just
many
want you to
companies being
let us
like,
take care of
"That's not possible," and I'm just sitting here like, we could do it 25 plus years ago. Are you trying to tell me that our technology has advanced and your competency has gone down because of it? Because
it.
if
Yeah, I mean,
so, that's really sad on your part, you know?
last I heard, people were still playing like say Fantasy Star Online for the GameCube because they were able
Not only
to.
that, but like games like Battlefield 1942, the original Battlefield that like made
Mhm.
the game series take off. You can still play that right now, you know?
Yeah.
So,
hmm Yeah, but definitely examples of people doing it, you know, the hard way.
mhm.
And really what people are asking for is let us do it the easy way. Like, don't make us jump through all these hoops to play a game that we paid for. Just
Mhm.
if you're not going to support it anymore, let us take care of it. Like, I don't even think they're asking for anything like financial. Like, they're just literally just like,
No one's asking for compensation. They are literally
Mhm.
asking to just be able to play the game that they own.
Yeah, totally reasonable. And it's like, and I think even to some degree too, I think they're really just, in some ways, I think they're just even being like, even if you're not going to leave the back door open, just don't fuck around with us if we decide to do something with us. Like,
Yeah,
let us, yeah,
essentially.
just like let us have the right to do this if you are going to abandon this game.
Mhm.
Um, Also totally fair take. Like,
Yeah.
I agree with all of this. So hopefully it does well. I think that they will. I think that European market's going to be pretty favorable for that.
Yeah.
Really, I think the big thing that we're going to see is, if this does happen, how douchey the counter reactions are to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that I think will be really interesting to see kind of what hoops they jump through to stop people from taking advantage of whatever ends up happening from this.
Mhm.
Uh, but then that's when you see the true colors. I think I think you'll have a bunch of companies that will just be like, okay, whatever, and there it is. But then you'll have some that, like probably Ubisoft, will be like, oh no, we're just gonna keep utilizing this game. We'll just leave the servers open with no one playing or something dumb. Like
Mhm.
they'll just make it absolutely miserable experience.
Yeah.
Um,
Like they won't do updates so like you can't play it anymore.
They won't do updates. They'll make matchmaking like terrible. Like
Mhm.
who knows? But I could just see them just really just going out of their way to just make it like malicious compliance. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll comply.
Mhm.
But just make it so that it's just here's what you wanted, but it's an absolute nightmare scenario. So,
Yeah, exactly.
um, but I think that will double backfire on them. So, um,
Absolutely. I think if Ubisoft continues to try to be as vindictive as they are already, that this will be the way they die. Like I
mhm.
legitimately think this will be what kills Ubisoft. Like puts the final nail in their coffin if they do continue to try to be vindictive like they've been doing already. So,
Okay. hmm Anyways, anything else you want to talk about?
not really. I think that's it for me, honestly.
Okay, let's wrap her up then. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Our website, game-crunch.com, has all of our old episodes. And if you want to reach out to us, send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon,
Hello.
any final thoughts?
No.
Okay. Well, that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. Find me online. I'm Clash of Penguin there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Game on, Mike and Brandon on the screen. Diving deep in the pixel stream. Every level, every quest. Shine. Game on, got that power up, feeling blessed. Controllers up, hear the cheer. Blasting through the gaming sphere. a thrill, it's a world premiere. Game on, in the realm of heroes, we conquer the fear.
There we go. There's the button to turn it on. I'm like reaching over my monitor and I can't find the one button that turns on my computer. I'm gonna check the stuff and see if there's a chance of having another power outage before I continue. Okay, I think the weather has come and gone. Like literally, like a fucking thief in the night, basically. Knocked out my power for a second and then left. Yeah, literally. It looks like it knocked out my power and then left. That's fucking crazy. There's literally
Sounds
nothing
about
now.
right.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna hop back over to my computer now, and we can start next episode.
Okay.
Checking me out. Hello!
Yep. Hello.
There we go, you can hear me now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so it looks like there might not be another power outage, but just in case there is, I'll hop back over the phone, and we can talk there. But it looks like we're good.
Okay. Sounds good.